the only thing stopping black people from unifying, the only thing that's stopping us from moving forward is us. Yes, supremacists, racists, evil people are gonna be evil people. There will never be a time where that doesn't exist. That's just who they are. There's nothing we can do about that. But what we can do is unify and do what we're supposed to do to build defense systems against tyranny, against racists, against clan members, against individuals that seek to do the black man, the black woman, and the black child harm. But if we're not going to do that, if that is not a focus for you, it's not much else that needs to be said. We can go in circles all day, all year, all month about things that are going on, things that have happened in the past, things that are currently happening. We can go on and on and on. But if we aren't going to make a considerable effort in mass to unify and unite to create something that can defend against these things, then there's nothing else that can be said. We're not even welcomed to think outside the box. We're not even welcome to do what's different from the norm. In this community, you have to fall in line with the dysfunction in order to be cool. And that's the fundamental problem. If you aren't being self-destructive, you aren't cool. And if you don't find nothing wrong with that, there's, again, nothing can be said. But between the older generation and the younger generation, it isn't just the older, it isn't just the younger, it is a considerable effort from both to self-destruct the entire community. We are in a crisis. We're in a crisis where the focus isn't on the black child, the black woman, or the black man. The focus is on self-destruction. And how do you get away from self-destruction if you aren't even welcome to not be self-destructive? The existing racist agenda that a lot of Caucasians think doesn't exist because they don't experience it, that's their ignorance. Let them be them. They're going to continue. Do you understand? The conversation has always been the same with them. Since slavery. In slavery times, they was arguing, oh, well, we only raped 1,000 women, or we only killed 1,000 of your brothers. We only killed 1,000 children today. It wasn't that bad. Last month, it was 10,000. What I'm saying is, it's always been the same pushback from them. So stop talking to them about it. I'm not telling you not to hold them accountable. Hold them accountable. But this obsession with trying to gain validation, this obsession with trying to get them to see how much your life is worth, it doesn't make sense if you don't even believe the worth of your life. The only thing that needs to happen is black men need to come together in every state, every major city, every state, unify and build systems to defend this community. That's the only way we initiate change. Now, you can all make the same mistake our ancestors made and build businesses and build a whole entire economy, but we remember in history what happened when we did that multiple times over too, don't we? Do we not? Do we not remember the multiple times over that we built neighborhoods and communities and businesses and banks, and what happened after because it worked so well? So what I'm saying is we have to begin to think outside the box. We have to begin to understand that the hard thing is the right thing to do. We can't keep running away from the hard thing. And the hard thing is a black-run military. My only question to all of you is, what happens when it's you? What happens when you're Trayvon Martin? What happens when you're George Floyd? What happens when you're Sandra Bland or Breonna Taylor? What happens when you're Sonia Massey? Are we going to continue to wait till it's us? Are we going to continue to wait till we're the victim? Or do we start to put systems in place to defend against it? Because we're not in a place where we can act like the Caucasian and act like America is just this blissful, beautiful place. That's not where we at. We live in two separate Americas. They still arguing the validity of the experience we have in America. So why are we still even talking to them? And why is it even a question whether or not we need to build defense systems? Why is it even a question whether or not you need to go down to the local gun range to train? Why is it even a question whether or not the gang members should be on the front line more than any of us? Do we not all understand that every gang in this country was started to protect this community from what we have always faced? So now when they remove the leaders from those gangs, mass incarcerate those gangs, they mass target those people, and not only mass target, first they get you with a criminal record. With a criminal record, you can hardly even find a job. That's one. Two, when you can't find a job and you have mouths to feed, you're bound to do whatever it takes. And that's where they get you at, because then comes the second strike and the third strike, and then you become a lifelong career criminal just trying to feed your family. Now, if you listen to the sellouts will just parrot everything and regurgitate everything the racists are saying, because they are the modern day version of the house Negroes from back then. Nothing has changed since the times of slavery. The 13th Amendment says that slavery is abolished except as a punishment for a crime. Why is the word "except" there, and why is slavery legal at all? They'll say, oh, well, what do you expect us to do with criminals? What do you expect us to do about people that don't obey the law? Rehabilitate them. Actually try to rehabilitate them. See, the problem is America doesn't want to rehabilitate because that costs too much money. What they did was they made a business out of people that mess up sometimes. And because they made a business out of people that mess up sometimes, it created an economy for people that mess up sometimes. So now those people that mess up sometimes become people that mess up all the time, because they are wrapped up in a certain ideology, in a certain trauma, in a certain